it will actually catch flame?
Pennsylvania. Dimock, Pennsylvania.
Is that Dimock, Pennsylvania?
Dimock, around the area around Dimock, Pennsylvania.
You can put a match and your water will catch on fire. There's that much volatile, organic gases and oils and creepy things you don't want in your little children's body.
They were featured in Gasland 2 and also Gasland 1 as well. The Academy Award nominated film Gasland 2 by Josh Fox details the calamitous occurrences that happen to people who allow fracking on their land, that their neighbors allow fracking, and you're the neighbor of these people. You have no say in it. It happens. They own the mineral rights. Whether you want them there or not, you have to allow them access. And in April 2012, a group of citizens in southwest Santa Maria, in Westgate, Strawberry Creek, Montalegre, Lavinia, and Paseo del Sol, a group of us coalesced together because we were shocked that the city would actually consider opening up the oil field that southern Santa Maria is built on. And once you open that oil field, all of the abandoned wells under our feet have the potential to leak. To leak.
And the reason for that would be what, Walter? Most of these were capped, as they called it, capping back in the 40s and 30s, late 30s, 40s, and even 40s, some in the 50s, early 50s.
All the way up until the 70s.
But capping then just meant you dumped a bunch of refuse and garbage on top. You didn't actually seal it like they do now.
Some of those were found to have been improperly abandoned and had to be re-abandoned. Just north of us, the Heritage subdivision, 3 out of 5 wells in the western portion of that subdivision had to be re-abandoned at the cost of the developer. Now that developer, they moved on. But my contention is, if someone owns those mineral rights, why don't they have to abandon those wells?
That's a good question. If someone, yeah, you know, when I bought my house here in Santa Maria, luckily I'm way in the northeast corner, far from these places, so I don't have this issue. But most of you that live anywhere just to the north of Stoll and everything to the south of Stoll, right? That's pretty much a good line.
Basically south of Stoll. There's a few wells that are north of Stoll.
But most of them are south.
Primarily they are south of Stoll.
I read my property report, and it clearly stated I had no right to the minerals below 500 feet. My property ownership only went 500 feet down, which means I could make a very deep basement if I wanted to. Could go 300 or 400 feet, but if I go 501 feet, I'm in violation of somebody else's property rights right under my own house. So I don't think we had that problem with my house, but many of you, especially in Orcutt, you may find somebody coming to you and say, we have to tear down your house.
Yeah.
And you think, oh, this can't happen.
We saw some the other day.
It already did happen. A little bird's eye view of what we found. In this first oil thing we're talking about is already grandfathered in. It's an ongoing, you can't do anything about it.
Yeah, it's behind,
right
behind
there.
Pep Boys.
Behind Pep Boys, right there it is. Okay, down this way, the fire department was called one night because something happened that's not supposed to happen.
So as you can see, it's got a big access ladder to the top. So that's how they got up there.
Yeah, that's good that they have an access ladder, because in an emergency situation, if you got to find a ladder.
Yeah.
Growing wheat. Okay, sir, your name is?
My name's Walter Taylor.
And what do you know happened here that caused the fire department to come?
Well, the family that lives in this trailer smells petroleum vapors on a regular basis. At one point, approximately 2 months ago, it was so overpowering that they came outside, looked around, and they saw a fellow on top of one of those tanks repairing something. a big plume of vapors was coming off that tank, and the family here said we called the police, and they called the fire department, and the fire department showed up just about the time the fellow on top of the tank had fixed the leak. And so, as they said, then the fire department just turned around and left. But the point of the matter is that these people get gassed out on a regular basis. I met a relative of these people, their niece. I met her, Naomi. I met her about 1.5 years ago as I was driving down Broadway and smelled the most ungodly, horrible oil stink. And I just followed my nose to this location. And what they were doing is they had a vacuum tanker truck parked on this ramp here, and they were offloading the water from that tank battery through this pipe. And what they had done as they were doing it, they had spilled a significant amount of water and oil. And the fellow was cleaning it up. There was oil all over the place, smell all over the place, and he was intent on fixing it and getting out of here as soon as possible. So they regularly spill oily water at this location.
And it's right next to a senior mobile home park.
No, it's not a senior park.
Isn't it?
No, these are families that have little children.
Little children, just same as over here in these
Oh, certainly.
low-cost
Certainly.
residential
Yeah,
apartments here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
these people are getting the fumes and the dosage too,
Yeah.
and they're probably not even aware of any danger.
No. Well, they probably are, because in the case of this family here, what they do is when they come and they park the truck here and the vapors start getting overpowering, they, if they're home, they stand outside the trailer and open up all the windows and wait till it's cleared out before they go back in. So
That's a little inconvenient.
yeah, their operations here not only inconvenience these people, but slowly, over time, contaminate them because of the vapors and particulates that come off of this tank battery. Now, what I'd like to do is go down here and show you one of the two wells connected to this tank battery.
Okay, let's go there.
Yeah.
Automatically?
Yeah. So it pumps from time to time. I've been here when it's pumping, and I've been here on several occasions when it was not. But as you can see, this pump jack is right across the street from these apartments.
Yeah.
And these poor folks have to deal with this on a daily basis. Crying shame, crying shame. What I'd also like to do is show you a perspective from the family in the trailer from their little back porch. And this is how close this is to these
This
people's
is
homes.
really close. This is really close.
It's too close. It's amazing that
This brick wall is not going to stop fumes.
Oh, not a chance. Not a chance. As the residents around here would testify to, if they weren't so worried about getting in trouble. They're unsophisticated. All they want is to be left
Left
alone.
alone and live in peace. Yeah.
And what's happening is they get environmentally assaulted. That pump jack head, right over top of a trailer, that's pretty dramatic too.
Since 1971 law, they can't put.
Yeah. Since 1971, January 1971 Santa Maria oil ordinance, they cannot put homes within 200 feet of any well, abandoned, idle, whatever. 200 feet from any well, 160 feet from any intersection. And as you can see, this idle well on an open space property is well within 200 feet of the trailers behind it.
Yeah, I would say more like 60 feet.
Yeah, very, very close. Now, even an idle well can gas off vapors from the open bore. And when was the last time this thing was maintained?
Who knows?
Who knows?
Where would they keep the records for the maintenance of it?
Well, they'd keep the records would be kept by the owner and operator of the lease, and those people, they historically don't like to talk before a camera.
I wonder why.
Yeah, I wonder why. So, and as you can see, you have trailers, you have apartments.
Yeah, this new apartment's just, that looks like that's less than 200 feet.
That's much less than 200 feet.
Less than 200 feet, I think. I would estimate maybe 100 feet, 120 feet from those new apartments
And those old trailers.
to the well, and those old trailers on the other side are probably 60 feet away.
Yeah, 60. No more than 80.
Well, there was a shot. That's right near the corner of Starlight and Broadway, and
Starlight and Sunrise.
Sunrise, and then a little farther there's Broadway, and then you're at the freeway. And some of you may have noticed over the last several months the houses were being demolished, and these were like new houses, not houses contaminated with mold, not houses had any kind of earthquake damage. And I only saw one or two from the freeway, but when Walter and I got up close, it turned out there was 4 residences, all of them I would say less than 16 years old, which makes it newer than my house, because I've been in my house for 30-some years.
Beautiful homes. Beautiful homes.
Beautiful homes, really nice homes, being just bulldozed down.
Yeah.
And we wanted to know why. I've been thinking of going there for a month and a half at least, to just see why brand new homes are being bulldozed, and you can see it from the 101. What did you find out, if anything, Walter?
Well, what I found out is that Measure P is the first step to make Santa Maria safe. Talk about bulldozed. They're bulldozing the Measure P proponents. We're talking about no on P flyers that you've had in your mail going back a couple of months, and these flyers are so pernicious. You get them every other day, and they're telling you vote no on P, vote no on P. But what they're not telling you is that the oil companies are buying up properties that have been contaminated, and these people, they're not speaking out. Most likely they have non-disclosure agreements, but it's terrible. You see these I've gotten several of them, and what have you gotten from the Measure P proponents? Probably not too much, because we're doing this out of our pockets.
Yeah, you're doing it out of your own personal pockets, while the corporations that have big bucks to make. And this is exactly what happened with the fluoride issue about exactly 10 years ago. And I remember the 3 gals that started the Stop the Fluoridation petition, all three of them, I think, have been run out of town now. Cynthia's gone.